All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Yoga Nidra Flow. Today is April 4th. So start off by finding a comfortable seated position on your mat. Sitting with the spine tall, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, and gently closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze open. And just tuning into the breath, tuning into what is coming up for us. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And taking a moment just to notice the breath. Notice if the breathing is happening more in our shoulders versus our abdomen and in our belly. So see if we can keep the shoulders where they are. And see if we can really bring that breath down into the abdomen, into the belly. Really drawing out each breath, drawing out each inhale, each exhale. And continuing to just monitor the breath. Really breathing in through the nose, if we can help it. If the nose is congested, it's okay to breathe through the mouth, but seeing if we can really bring in the breath in and out of the nostrils. Relaxing the fingertips, relaxing the toes. Relaxing the jaw, releasing the tongue. Softening the eyebrows, softening the face. And along with the breath, noticing what is coming up for us in our body. And we're not judging or labeling what comes up as good or bad, right or wrong. We're simply just observing, just naming. Perhaps even including the location of where we feel these sensations. An example could be, I feel tingling in my toes, in my right foot. Be as specific as you can be. These sensations are neither good or bad, or neither right or wrong. They simply just are. We're helping to form this connection with our body. Along with the breath, along with the body, noticing the quality of our mind, noticing what thoughts are coming in. Once again, not judging or labeling these thoughts as good or bad, right or wrong, simply just observing. And as we notice what is happening in the breath, the body, and the mind, I'll discuss the intention behind class today, which is to wait for timely action. Watch the surfer as he works his way out to sea. See him watching the waves, waiting for the right movement, the right timing, the right swell. Sometimes the wave comes quickly. Sometimes he has to tread water patiently for a long time, waiting and watching before he can ride the wave. Learn to ride the waves of energy in your life. Learn to wait for the right time to take action. Learn to wait until your senses, your emotions, your body, and the universe give you the signal you need. Yes, you have a list of things you want to do. But as soon as you have made that list, visualize what you want. You've already begun a powerful force. You've already begun to engage the universe in helping bring you what you want. There are moments that are more perfect than others to initiate action, to make that phone call, to finish that task. Untimely action will not get the job done any sooner. It will simply waste your energy and send you back to sea, waiting for the right wave. Focus on your goal, muster all your forces, and head out to sea. Then wait patiently for the right time, for the right energy, for the right wave. A passage from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart. Just notice how the body, the breath, the mind responds to what was just heard. The idea that it's okay to pause before taking action. It doesn't mean that we are not doing anything. It just means that we are pausing, we're preparing, we're getting ready to take positive action. Bringing in that breath. Inhaling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Once again, inhaling up and exhaling back down. If there's any other intention that you'd like to set for your practice this evening, you may do so right now, repeating that intention to yourself, reminding yourself of why you are on your yoga mat right now. And gently blink open the eyes, coming up off of your block, getting onto your hands and your knees, getting ready for a few rounds of cat and cow. Now do this with your own breath and find beauty in the pause between each movement, right? For that action. Inhaling as the navel moves towards the mat, gaze up. Exhaling as we round the spine, bringing the gaze to the navel. Taking a beautiful pause here before we move to the next asana. Finding beauty in that pause before we take that action. Continue moving with your own breath in cat and cow. And adding on any movements that feel good in your body. Perhaps moving the hips in circles. Maybe it feels good to gaze back at the heels. For some of you, it may feel good to flip the wrist. Whatever feels good in your body, feel free to move accordingly. Moving with your own breath. Keeping that breath moving, not holding in the breath. And wherever you are, slowly coming back into a neutral tabletop position. Kicking the hips back to the heels, arms out in front of you, coming into child's pose. Forehead to the mat, breathing here. You can come onto your fingertips if you'd like to add a stretch into the shoulders. And on the next breath, gently make your way up into a downward dog, spreading those fingers wide. Really reaching those hips up high towards the sky, shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the head and the neck. Paddling those feet, wagging the tails, and spreading those fingers wide. Really root down into the inner corners of your hands, in between the index fingers and the thumbs. Reach those shoulders away from the ears, breathing here, pausing, preparing for the next action. On the next breath, look to the front of your mat. Gently walk your feet to your hands. Then slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. When you get to the top, sweep the arms up to the sky, palms together at the sky, gaze up. Palms down at the heart and at the side. All right, coming to the front of your mats, feet together, heels are slightly apart. We'll start our sun salutations, moving through our flow, warming up any residual energy in our body before we move into the yin portion and wind down. Standing tall in mountain pose, Tadasana, arms to the side, crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. We'll start Surya Namaskar A. Inhale the arms up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, hinging forward at the hips. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale as you plant both hands, bring your left foot back. Bring your right foot back, coming into a high plank. And from this high plank, lower all the way down to the mat. Untuck the toes, keep those feet hips width apart. Bring the hands out about 6 inches in front of you. Fingers are spread wide. And inhale as you lift the elbows up, squeezing the elbows towards each other. Gaze is down, coming into Cobra, Bhujangasana. Breathing here. And exhale as you lower back down. Slide those hands back underneath the shoulders. Squeeze those elbows in towards one another. The gaze is down. Tuck those toes. Lift those knees up. Squeeze everything in as you push up. High plank. Exhale back into your downward dog. Beautiful. Breathing here. Shoulders away from the ears. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no. Loosening the neck. And look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up at the palms. Palms down at the heart. And hands to the side. And again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, plant the hands, step the left foot back. Step the right foot back, coming into a high plank. Option to come down into cobra like we just did, or move through your vinyasa, coming through chaturanga. Inhaling through upward dog or cobra. And exhaling back into downward dog. Breathing here. Shoulders away from the ears. Nodding the head yes. Shaking the head no. Look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, Urdhva Hastasana. Then palms down through the heart and to the side, Samastitihi. Breathing here. One last Surya A. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, step or jump back, chaturanga, or go through your variation of your flow. Keeping that breath moving, we'll all end back at downward dog. Breathing here, spreading those fingers wide, those hips are reaching towards the sky. Relaxing the head and neck down, shoulders away from the ears. Rotate those elbows towards one another. On the next breath, look to the front of your mat. Step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhaling halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, palms together at the sky. Palms down at the heart and at the side. On the next breath, I'm going to face you, but you want your feet to be together, heels can be slightly apart. Inhale as you bring the arms up to the sky, interlace all of the fingers except for your index fingers. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here, inhale everything up. Exhale as you fold over to your right. Breathing here, kicking the hips off to the left, forming a C with that body. Gently bring that right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Breathing here, keeping that breath moving. And inhale back to center. Relax the shoulders down. Breathing here, inhale everything back up. Exhale over to your left. This time pushing the hips out to the right. Gently bring that left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. Sorry, I meant the opposite. Left shoulder back, right shoulder forward. Breathing here. Keep that breath moving. And inhale back to center. Option here, it might feel good to release the hands back behind the body. It may also feel good to separate the feet about hips width apart, but breathing here as we come into a gentle back bend. Inhaling the heart open, exhaling as you bend back. Breathing here, keep that breath moving wherever you are. And gently come back to center. Breathing here. Release the hands down. If your feet are not hips width apart, gently step or jump your feet hips width apart. Place your hands on your hips, shoulders away from the ears. We're going to come into a forward fold. Inhale as you open the heart up to the sky. Exhale as you forward fold all the way forward. Breathing here. Option to bring your fingers around your big toes, or you can just gently place your hands on the mat in front of you. See if you can let the head and the neck relax. Feel free to bend the knees as much as feels good if you want to lie the chest on the knees. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears, head and neck is relaxed. Breathing here. Relaxing the jaw. Bring the weight into the balls of your feet, really getting that nice hamstring stretch. Beautiful. Just a few more breaths here. And gently come up halfway, placing your hands on your hips, taking a deep inhale, deep exhale, and then gently inhale as you roll up one vertebra at a time. Shrugging the shoulders up to the ears and back down. All right, on the next breath, we're gonna come back down into a yogic squat. So a couple options here. If you have a block, this might feel extra good, and it can be on any layer of a block. If you don't need a block, you just wanna see what it looks like. Yogic squat is when you come all the way down. So some of you, it may feel good to have your feet parallel or out. For me, it feels good to have my feet out. I like to have my shoulders on the inside of my knees. They kind of press out on my knees while my palms come together at the heart. For some of you, it may feel good to sit on a block in whatever setting feels good for you. All right, and if you want this to be more restorative, then that feels extra good. And you can still use your elbows to help open up the knees to get a bit of a hip opener. Squeeze those palms together towards the heart. See if you can sit tall wherever you are, whether you're on a block or you're just on your mat. Breathing here. Pausing before action. Closing the eyes. This is a very grounding pose. Really helps with the root chakra Muladhara, which is represented by the color red, as you can see around me. Breathing here, really rooting down. Few more deep breaths here. Moving through any discomfort that shows up or adjusting accordingly if there's any pain or sharp aches. And on the next breath, you can gently release the hands. Use one hand to gently come back onto your seat. And bring your legs out into a V. We're going to continue this grounding in this moment, Muladhara. And Muladhara is really nice as a reminder for us to ask ourselves, do I feel safe right now? Do I feel secure? Do I have what I need to live, to thrive? And when our root chakra is imbalanced, it can result in fear and restlessness and anxiety. And these feelings of not being safe, these feelings of not being secure, not being rooted or grounded, scattered, lack of focus. So we're going to root down onto our mats. And for some of you, it may feel good to grab a blanket and to sit on the edge of that blanket. And seeing if your feet can be flexed. Shoulders away from the ears, sitting tall, breathing here. Closing the eyes if that feels good to you. And just noticing what it feels like to feel rooted. And if the legs feel too far apart, feel free to bring them in. There's no need to feel any major discomfort here. The point of this is not to see how wide we can open our hips, but to just feel grounded, feel rooted. Sitting tall, adding length into the spine. And gently open the eyes. I'm going to introduce a Kundalini movement here. So Kundalini, if you've been in any of my previous classes, really represents that serpent, that coiled energy that's in us. As we're talking about chakras, as you can actually see here, you can see all the 7 chakras here on this banner next to me. Allowing the energy, the prana, to move up through the body really allows for us to open up any chakras that are potentially blocked. This is our life force. There are all these energy centers in our body. And for those of you who understand any other Eastern philosophies, these can also even correlate to some of the meridian points, for example, in traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture. So one of the ways that we can practice Kundalini is by practicing what's called a Kriya, which really stands for action or movement. By doing some of these Kriyas, we can really bring the energy upwards through our chakra. The first chakra that we're talking about today is Muladhara, which is the root chakra. It is located at the base of our spine. So the Kriya that I'm going to go over with you today involves sitting where we are right now. You're going to bring the arms up to frame the ears. You're going to inhale here. Exhale as you bend over to your right. Inhale as you come up to center. Exhale as you bend over to your left. And repeating this. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So continue doing a few more rounds of these. I'll let you know when we will cease doing this. But inhale in and out through your nose and go at your own pace. Some of you may want to go quicker, some of you may want to go slower. This is really nice. It really opens up the energy in our body. It also is a great stretch for our hips. It's a great stretch for our back. Inhaling the arms up, exhaling as you bend over to one side. Maybe even closing the eyes if that feels good to you. And if you need to pause before action, as our intention for class signifies today, feel free to pause and take a break at any point. Continue doing this. We'll be in silence together as we move at our own rhythm. Keep going, moving at your own rhythm. Almost there, keep going. Stop if you need to, take a break. And gently slow down as we all come back to center. Blinking open the eyes. Inhale as you squeeze everything up. Engage that mula bandha, that root block. Squeeze those muscles that allow for you to hold your pee. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Suspending the breath. And exhale as we bring the arms down. Whew. Rolling the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Beautiful. Just giving you a little taste of Kundalini, which is really a beautiful practice. It involves a lot of breath work and gentle movement. So for the next part of class, we're going to move into our yin sequence, which is more relaxative, more restorative. This is a great time to grab pillows or blankets, eye pillow, sweater, anything that you need to feel comfortable. We're going to start off by actually bringing the feet in, continuing to work a little bit into the hips, continuing that grounding that we are doing today. And coming into Baddha Konasana, for some of you, it may feel good to have blocks or books, anything to place underneath the knees. For some of you that have open hips today, you might want to open up your feet like a book, spreading the toes wide. What I like to do, and if some of you would like to do this, I like to place something on my feet in front of me. So you can place multiple layers of pillows or blankets. This is really nice if you want to just lay forward and have something to lie on. So feel free to grab anything that you need, making it as comfortable as you can. Holding on to our legs, sitting tall, adding length into the spine, shoulders away from the ears, reaching the crown up. Inhaling up further, exhaling as we forward fold, melting in front of us. Letting your head relax on any props if you have in front of you. If you would like to open up the hips more, you can bring the arms out in front of you, lay on the fingertips, and release the forehead down. Wherever you are, relax the shoulders away from the ears. And keep the breath moving, relaxing the jaw, relaxing the neck. If it hurts to have the feet closer to you, feel free to move the feet out in front of you, forming more of a diamond, whatever feels comfortable for you. Relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the jaw, separating the teeth. And yin is a beautiful practice for the beauty of pause. Really pausing before we take action. In contrast to fast-moving vinyasa classes or any other types of fast classes where you move quickly from one asana to the next, yin is really nice in that you're really pausing, you're really sinking in and soaking in each asana. Even though it seems like not much is happening on the outside, there is so much growth and expansion happening on the inside. And in these moments, it really gives us an opportunity to practice mindfulness, to practice being in the present. And we can do so through various ways. We can bring awareness to our breath. We can bring awareness to what sensations are popping up in our body. We can also start a mindfulness practice by just labeling our thoughts as thought. Not labeling it as good or bad, right or wrong, simply just labeling each thought as thought. And instead of engaging with the thought, we are simply just existing alongside it, becoming an observer of our thoughts. So see which one of these resonate with you right now as a way to practice being in the present. And where can you relax and just be right now?
Where can you let go of the need to hold yourself up right now? And where can you just let yourself be supported by your mat, by the floor, by any props? Keeping that breath moving. And if your mind wanders, simply just rooting back into the present moment, by focusing on either the breath, the sensations, mindfulness practice with the mind and the thoughts. We're not judging or labeling ourselves as anything if our mind wanders, for it is perfectly human for us to have our mind wandering. And simply just practicing mindfulness, gently guiding ourselves back to the present. And slowly start to bring the palms back towards the body, rising up. When you get to the top, shrug the shoulders up to the ears and back down. Gently move any props off to the side as you bring the knees together and gently give yourself a hug, rounding forward. You can bring your face in between your knees if that feels good for you. We're giving ourselves some self-love in this moment, rocking forward, hunching over, relaxing the head and the neck, grabbing opposite elbows, keeping that breath moving. And on the next breath, gently roll up. And we'll come onto our knees and just gently take a pause before action, which is part of our intention today, to come into child's pose, bringing the hips back to the heels, the forehead down to the mat, palms out in front of you. Breathing here. And on the next breath, just gently come onto your knees for a moment or sit back on your heels. So the next asana that we're going to do is actually going to be laying on our bellies. Now, if you are pregnant or if this is just not comfortable for you, then feel free to modify as needed. You can definitely come back into child's pose, or you can just simply lay on your back if this is comfortable for you. So I'm just going to demonstrate what this looks like. So you're going to have your legs fully out. You're going to bring your palms together, and you can form a pillow with your palms. So you can just lay with one ear on the palms facing either side. Or for some of you, you can even place your forehead down on your palms. Now, if you have props, just gauge the body and see where your props may feel good for you. If you have a blanket, you can roll up your blanket into a little log like I've done here. And maybe that'll feel good for you. I'm gonna roll this forward. Maybe that'll feel good for you to have underneath your feet. Okay, so maybe you want to have that underneath your feet. For some of you, it may feel good to have that underneath your knees. Or some of you may want to have it underneath your hips. Or if you would like additionally to have a pillow to place your hands on or your forehead on, you can do that. So there are many options here. There's no right way to do this. This is really what feels good for you right now in the body. For me, it feels extra good to have this rolled up blanket underneath my ankles, but for some of you, it may feel good to have it at the top underneath your hands. So wherever you are, just lay comfortably, whether your forehead is on your hands or whether you have one cheek to your hands. And if you are on your stomach, just noticing how the breath feels like from this perspective. This time on every inhale, you're pushing the mat away from you. On every exhale, you're coming closer to the mat. And if you're on your back, feel free to place one hand on the navel or both hands on the navel to explore how the breath feels. And feel free to adjust accordingly or to completely change the way that your body is lying right now. There's no right or wrong right now. It's simply your practice and to do what feels good for you. Feel free to close the eyes and just go within. Once again, practicing mindfulness, practicing being in the present. We'll be here for just a few more minutes. So getting comfortable, and feel free to change as much as you need. If you want to place any blankets or pillows or any props underneath you at any point. This promotes relaxation, restoration, rejuvenation. And see if you can relax the body. And even though this doesn't quite look like a typical yoga asana or pose, it still works to unite the mind and the body, which is the definition of yoga. It's really to unite us with something bigger than ourselves, but this can be anything. And for many of us, it could be just uniting our mind and our body. Taking this opportunity to go within, to be mindful, being mindful of the breath or the sensations in the body, or perhaps just being mindful of what thoughts are coming up, not judging or labeling anything, simply just observing. We're also rooting down on our mat, really rooting down into our Muladhara chakra, our root chakra, helping us to feel grounded in this moment, to feel supported. Keeping that breath moving, relaxing the jaw, separating the teeth, relaxing the shoulders. Drawing out the breath, especially that exhale. When you draw out that exhale even more, really feeling the breath as it moves in and out of our body. And on the next breath, slowly start to come up onto the elbows. If you have any props underneath you, gently move them to the side. And we're just gonna flip onto our backs, wherever you are. And when you come onto your backs, hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a tight squeeze, rocking left and right, massaging the spine. And I want to give you the next few moments to tune into your body and do what feels good for you. Some of you may want to do spinal twist. Some of you may want to do figure four. Or some of you may want to bring the feet together, knees apart on the ground, whatever feels good to you and your body. Go ahead and take the next few minutes to just tune into the body and do what you need. Your body is the best source of wisdom as to what could help you right now feel more in your body, to open up space in the body. Feel free to close the eyes as you do this, as you take the next few minutes for yourself, for your practice, using any props that you need. And feel free to pause before you move from action to action, taking a moment to soak in the experience. About another minute to do what you need. Even if that means just staying on your back. Finding a way to ground yourself right now. And then when you're ready,
making your way onto your backs for the final pose of Shavasana. Arms out to the side, hands out to the side. Grabbing any props that you need to feel comfortable, feel warm, or safe or grounded as you need. The right wave will come. When it does, grab your board, jump on, and write it for all it is worth. Slowly start to deepen the breath. Bring movement into the body. Gently wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes. Maybe rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. Stretching the arms up overhead. Growing really tall. Staying where you are on your back, just bringing the palms together at the heart or leaving them at the side. Perhaps another option is one hand on the heart, one hand on the navel. Taking this moment to give gratitude to yourself for showing up to your yoga practice this evening. Giving gratitude to your mind, your body, your breath. And giving gratitude to those in your lives that show up for you. And if the heart has even more space in it right now, growing this gratitude wide for all those in our neighborhoods, in our communities that show up for one another. Perhaps spreading this even more to our state, to our country, to the whole world, perhaps out to the whole universe. And knowing that our intentions go beyond the yoga mat and are present in our everyday lives if we choose to carry them with us. Learning from today that there is beauty in the pause before action. There's beauty in that stillness, that grounding in ourselves before we take action. I thank each and every one of you for coming to practice with me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And sleep well and be well. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your